We would like to tell you where this all started. Are you sitting comfortably?
Then I shall begin.
Once upon a time, there were two young women who were very, very poorly. And we had tried literally everything. We were throwing ourselves at every therapy, every diet, you name it. Now, our experiences were different, but actually they manifested in some similar ways, not all similar, but some similarities. Mostly that they were stubborn health issues. And what that meant was we were doing training. Laura was training in nutrition. I'd started my training in kinesiology. Then we swapped. Laura trained in kinesiology. I trained in nutrition. And we were doing everything that we had been told. And both of us throwing ourselves at counseling and coaching and angel healing and Reiki, and you name it, we tried it. We'd also pursued the medical model. We'd both gone down the route of blood tests and medication and everything that we could possibly try to get our health back on track, we had tried. With the medical world, I think we both got to a place where they'd gone, don't know, just don't know, which is actually great from an alternative health perspective because it means you've got carte blanche to go and try everything else. But whilst we've been trying everything, we just couldn't get better.
So you started Balance Wellness in, was it 2010, 2009?
2009, yeah.
And had your little clinic, and I was your client at the time, best friend and client. And I got to a stage in my corporate career where I was like, this sucks, this is full of stress, your job looks cool, I'll come and join you. And there is something around the power of two ill women together.
Ill, but underneath the ill, kick-ass women.
Who are, we were highly trained, we'd been through all of the courses, and we were then in clinic applying what we learned to our clients. And when we had two of us, we would be having conversations about, I've got this client and I'm doing all the stuff that I've been taught, and it's not getting underneath it. Claire would be the same. She'd be like, and those two brains coming together, what is going on here?
Yeah. And it got to this major point in 2015, 2016, where we'd both gone through a period of, on top of our being unwell, we'd both gone through a period of incredibly high stress. And my health was just deteriorating beyond belief. I was piling on weight despite still exercising, still, eating really cleanly. Exhausted, dragging myself around. And again, I was having the same situation that nothing was showing up on blood tests with the medical model. And I was literally walking my talk, almost obsessively. And after some serious stress, I went on a sabbatical. I went off on holiday and was literally like, I'm kind of done. I am broken physically. I am not getting anywhere with my health. So I'm starting to feel like a little bit of a charlatan actually with my clients, because I feel like I can only take them so far. Like, I'm not getting well. Like, some of my clients were getting well. It was great, nutrition and kinesiology, powerful combination, but it wasn't quite cutting the mustard. And then I was on holiday, sat on the beach at Byron Bay, not thinking about work. And I was there with a very dear friend of mine who had recently become a single mother in Sydney, which is one of the most expensive cities of the world, had only just moved to being a freelance consultant, and at the time was incredibly stressed, eating sporadically and comfort eating also. I was having incredibly difficult periods. And I just drew a triangle in my journal to try and explain to her why eating this food would keep contributing to her bad periods. And something in my head clicked. And I realized that we had basically stumbled on a very easy way of explaining things. And I came home and I said to Laura, I think we should just try and do a couple of one-day workshops with practitioners and just explain this. I think it's a really easy way of explaining diet and women's health. And we agreed, we did some workshops, and then we wrote them and we sent them off to our governing body and said, could we just could we just do some workshops for practitioners, like properly for CPD, continuous professional development? And they said, no, you've invented a whole new branch of kinesiology, go away, start a college. So we did that, and also then started to really put some research and formalize structure around these clinic models. Now, the reason that we ended up working with irritable bowel syndrome, and so this was, irritable bowel syndrome was before this, was because on my health search, I was working with a gastroenterologist who basically said, IBS has nothing to do with the bowel, it's hormones. And I went, well, why aren't hormone doctors working with it? And he said, because it's in the bowel. And I said, so no one's dealing with it? No, not really. And so again, all this information started to go into the triangle of hormonal health, which is the foundation of how we work. And then, because I do like to be the sacrificial lamb, at the same time, I've been diagnosed with an early menopause. And I truly, truly believe that the then 30-year-old woman who'd started this quest for health, if she had seen us in clinic, she wouldn't have got to the point where she was going through an early menopause. And so menopause found us, and on the back of all of that hormone information and the digestive information, Laura's journey with autoimmune led her to realizing this big part of that picture.
And I think that's what's wonderful about our two brains coming together.
Our two illnesses coming together.
Is that we came at it from very, very different angles. So one of the things that we really do work with, two of the angles is chronic fatigue and autoimmune. And the research that we did, understanding that particularly women, 75% of autoimmune conditions affect women more than men. And so this pathway of leading up to something like an autoimmune or a chronic fatigue diagnosis, it doesn't come out of the blue. It comes from years and years and years of this unstable blood sugars, high stress, poor diet, poor digestion, repeated medication. So we were able to see this in our clients, we were able to see it in ourselves and start to build protocols of how to work with this. Yeah.
I think that's where we got to.
What else was I going to say? There was something else. I wanted to talk about our journey into, when we first started this, we wanted to create a professional brand. And that was very attractive to other practitioners who were training in these modalities, who possibly didn't have the marketing background that both Claire and I come from, and wanted to lean into that marketing expertise, the business expertise, the credibility that we bring to alternative health. And so we have seen that our team has started to grow. And so when you come to Balance Wellness, there is a team of us that you can tap into, that you can see practitioners and know that it is built on research, it is built on education, it's built on the latest research. We strive to keep going out there and researching more, because nutrition and health is fast growing, it's fast changing. As I find, it's one of the frustrating things about working in health, is that I go, right, I know how that works. And then the next year, a new piece of research will come out that will blow it out the water. But we are constantly looking for that. We want to keep learning. We want to keep developing this, because it is really exciting to be in health now. And these conversations that are coming up in the media about things like menopause, which was never talked about, and the difficulties that women are experiencing, we feel like we are really well placed to be able to help women with these issues that are coming up.
And the other thing I want to say is, one of the ways that we have always maintained our credibility is because I'm passionate that there is an alternative to the medical model. I know it, I live it. However, it's not an us or them situation. It is, there is a place where our remit ends, and we have to, be able to work with doctors. And I truly believe that that is the future of healthcare. I truly believe that I always talk about us as practitioners and the students that we train as being the first line coaches. We're the front line. And so, people dealing with the foundations of their health, getting their diet sorted, navigating, getting some of those stress hormones down, balancing their blood sugars, doing what we can for hormones, doing what we can for underlying gut dysbiosis. And then there comes a point where it's like, now we actually need some support from the doctors, because we do need, the proper, the body identical HRT or the bioidentical HRT. There is a difference. Keep watching other videos and you'll find out. We do sometimes actually need a targeted antibiotics or something like SIBO, but it's not going to work on its own unless you've done all the other bits first. So we are so passionate that we partner with the medical community to actually give you that whole journey. And it is so great being able to sit there with a client and say, I've got to the end of where I can help you, and I know where to take you next. I know who to send you on to. So we were flailing around in the dark, stabbing at everything, trying to find a solution. And I know that the women who come and join us for their health journey don't have that situation.
Gives me the feels. Gives me the feels.
Me too.